Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk about two fundamental concepts in business management, cybersecurity, and many other fields: regulations and compliance. What are regulations? When we talk about regulations, we refer to the set of laws, rules, and standards that govern a specific sector. Regulations are established by governments, international bodies, and industry organizations to ensure order, security, and the protection of public and private interests. For example, in cybersecurity, some of the most relevant regulations include GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, governs the processing of personal data in the European Union. ISO HIC 27001 sets requirements for an information security management system. NIST Cybersecurity Framework provides guidelines for managing cyber risks. Each sector has its own specific regulations, from finance to healthcare, from technology to industry. What does compliance mean? The term compliance means conformity. In other words, it refers to all the actions, processes, and controls that an organization must implement to comply with applicable regulations. Compliance is not just a legal obligation but also a strategy to prevent penalties, enhance corporate reputation, and reduce operational risks. Take GDPR as an example. To be compliant, a company must implement data protection policies, provide transparency to users about data processing, and adopt cybersecurity measures to prevent breaches. Why are they important? Regulations and compliance are essential for several reasons. Protection of rights and security. They safeguard data, customers, and businesses. Prevention of legal and financial risks. Avoiding fines and illegal issues is crucial. Trust and credibility. Compliant companies inspire reliability among customers and partners. Standardization and continuous improvement. Regulations push organizations to enhance their processes.
A privacy policy is a document that describes how an organization collects, uses, stores, and protects user personal data. It's a fundamental element to ensure transparency and trust between the organization and its user, as required by the GDPR. There are some key aspects of a privacy policy. Data collection. The privacy policy must specify what types of personal data are collected, such as name, email address, phone number, and payment details. Use of data. It must clarify how the organization uses the data collected. This can include purposes such as sending marketing communication, personalizing the user experience. Data sharing. The policy must indicate whether and with whom personal data can be shared. User right. Users should be informed of their rights reading their personal data. Data security. The privacy policy should describe the security measure in place to protect personal data from unauthorized access or loss. Privacy policy changes. It's important to indicate how and when the privacy policy can be updated and how user will be notified of such changes. Contact information. Finally, the policy should provide information on how user can contact the organization with questions or concerns about privacy. Privacy notice and cookie policies are two types of legal documents used to inform users about the personal information. There is a difference between a privacy policy and cookie policy. A privacy policy covers the collection and processing of users' personal data, which cover all the organization's privacy practices. A cookie policy informs users about the types of cookies use and purpose for which they are used. User can manage or disable cookie when they want. How to write a privacy policy? The content to be includes depends of the applicable law. In general, privacy and data protection laws apply to any services aimed at residents of certain area, which means that law could apply to your business regardless of whether or not it's located in this area.
The GDPR is a regulation of the European Union that came into effect on May 25, 2018. Its main goal is to protect the rights and fundamental freedoms of individuals regarding the processing of personal data to ensure the free movement of such data within the EU. Here are some key aspects of the GDPR. Scope of application. The General Data Protection Regulation applies to all organizations that process personal data of EU citizens, regardless of their location. This means that every non-European company must comply with the GDPR if they handle data of EU citizens. The personal data. The GDPR defines personal data as any information relating to an identified or identifiable natural person, such as name, email address, phone number, location data, and more. Principles of data processing. The GDPR establishes several fundamental principles for data processing, including lawfulness, fairness, and transparency. Data must be processed lawfully and transparently. Purpose limitation. Data must be collected for specific, legitimate purposes and not processed further in a way incompatible with those purposes. Data minimization. Only the data necessary for the stated purposes should be collected. Accuracy. Data must be accurate and kept up to date. Storage limitation. Data should only be retained for as long as necessary to achieve the purposes. Integrity and confidentiality. Data must be processed in a way that ensures security and protection against unauthorized access. And the right of data subjects. The GDPR grants individuals several rights regarding their personal data, including right of access, in which individuals can request information about what personal data is being processed, right to rectification, in which individuals can request deletion of their data under certain circumstances, right to restriction of processing. Individuals can request to limit the processing of their data. Right to data portability. Individuals can request to receive their data in a structured format and transfer it to another data controller. Right to object. Individuals can object to the processing of their data in certain situations. Accountability and penalties. The GDPR requires organizations to demonstrate compliance and take appropriate measures to protect personal data. Violation of the GDPR can result in significant penalties, up to 4% of the company's global annual revenue or 20 million euros, whichever is higher. In summary, the GDPR represents an important step towards greater protection of personal data in the European Union, establishing clear rights for individuals and strict obligations for companies that process personal data.